Alright, my name is Mike, and this is Miss Serena with us. So you can see the first thing I'm doing is walking back and forth with her on the leash, and what I'm actually doing is teaching the dog not to hit the end of the leash. This dog definitely pulls, was using a harness with the owner, which will actually increase the pulling or encourage the pulling. The collar gives us a way to redirect the head, which the body is going to follow the head. So that gives us a little more leverage with the dog. Gives us the ability to lead the dog a little more. So this is what we call an attention exercise. So if she's looking one way, trying to go after a dog or something like that, I can correct her and get her to come with me if she's not already coming with me. You see the way the leash is loose. That's what we want from her. This is her first 24 hours here. We want her just to start understanding, keep the leash loose for us. Before we start telling the dog no and correcting behavior, we want to teach the dog what we want them to do. So you can see this is the first step to heel, is doing that attention exercise, and now I'm using my knee to keep the dog behind me. So as I turn into her, she kind of continues forward. So I'm using my knee when I turn the corner to correct her and keep her back, kind of like a barrier. And so you can see after a little work with her, this is the first step to getting her to start healing. We're always keeping the dog on her left side to keep it consistent for the dog. And she's doing a pretty good job with this. And of course, there's pretty low distractions at this point. And you see how she didn't turn around quite with me the right way. She turned the opposite way. So I went back and made sure she did it the way I wanted her to do it. That's the theme you're going to see throughout training is if the dog does something we didn't want, we go back and get them to do it the way we wanted them to do it. And that's their kind of their last memory of that exercise. So here we're working with place. I'm walking her around place, right? It's her first time ever seeing this place bed with me. And I'm not first just putting her on the bed. I am just walking her around it just to get her used to the bed. Then I go ahead and ask her to get on. Typically, some dogs don't just get right on. Some of them you have to lead them on with the leash. She's doing a pretty good job of just getting on. I put her on and I take her right off, and you'll see me do that again. At first we introduce it with a very short time span with the dog on place, and we slowly increase that. Each time I'm putting her on place, you'll see me increase the time by just a few seconds and give her a pet. This is what we're using to keep her on the bed, is positive reinforcement in the form of our praise. And so it makes it very organic. The dog's understanding what you want and working for your affection. And we don't require her to sit on the bed for a large amount of time. At first, it's baby steps. We get the dog on there for 5 seconds, then it goes to 30 seconds, then a minute, then 2 minutes, and we just kind of slowly increase from there until we can kind of see the dogs relaxing and really understanding what we want. So in this clip, you're going to see me have her on the bed for a lot longer than that first clip there. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the leash and I'm ready to correct her if she goes to step off the bed. If I see her start to motion to get off the bed, I'm going to give her a warning. But if she actually steps off, I'm going to correct her. There I can see she's kind of chilling, so I drop the leash. I'm giving her some praise, but I'm also very aware at this moment that we're outside. She can just take off if she wants to. So I'm very closely watching her and ready to step on that leash if she were to move, or ready to pick up the leash and correct her. That's what's going to make the dog feel secure in what they're doing and understand that there's we can't give them an option of hey, you can just get off the bed when you'd like. And that's really what comes down to dominance, right? If the dog is making decisions like, I can bark at this dog, or I can get off the bed when I want, or I don't have to come when I'm called, those types of things, that's what we consider dominance, is the one who is making the decisions in the relationship. So here I'm working the dog in my home. Sometimes outside can be very distracting for the dog, so we want to teach them with very little distraction at first what we want from them. So it's going to be easier to imprint these behaviors of like teaching the dog sit. It's going to be easier to get the dog to sit more consistently inside. Then you move to a more difficult area outside. The idea is you don't want to overwhelm the dog with, say, distractions and trying to teach it something, even though there's always going to be some type of level of distraction. As you can see, my dog's out on his place on the left center of the screen. So she is working with, some type of distractions. This dog does have a bite history with people and dogs, but as you can see, it's not dogs necessarily that she's living with. As soon as she could see that I was in control of my dog, there was not an issue. And it more pertains to dogs outside and reactivity on the leash. So there I just opened the door for her and kind of just showing that, she understands place. This is a few days later from the last video. And she understands place much better and can understand that there's a boundary. When I open that door, she's not allowed to make the decision to step off the bed or run out the door, which was one of her issues in the home. And that's how one incident of her bite started, was just running out of the open door. So it's we want to tackle these things ahead of time. We want to stop the dog from running out the door rather than the bite actually being the problem. The first problem is the dog thinking it is able to run out the door when it wants to.